Hey, hi everyone. My name is Jerry Wise, and I'd like to talk about narcissistic parents and how they fake being a good parent. I think that's a great topic. The reason being because, as I've mentioned in other videos, the solution is in the problem. And if we can understand the problem and its dynamics, we might be able to see how it is functioning in us and how we might be able to recover from that, change that, and move another direction. So let me talk just about a few. There are probably many more ways that narcissistic parents can behave like fake parents. They fake being a good parent because they don't have that goodness. They don't have that goodness gene. They don't have that nurturing gene and that empathetic gene, so they have to kind of fake being a good parent. And they will manipulate to look good as a parent. And they will manipulate you either in how you dress, what you do, what clubs you join or don't join, who you get to play with, who you don't get to play with, to manage that image. They use all of that to manage that image. No, you can't stay all night. It's not because there's a real problem with staying all night with a friend. It's that they will use that as an excuse rather than, no, I don't want you playing with that girl because she's not up to our family standards or my standards. Or I can think of situations in which people have forced their children who are talented, let's say in music, and forced their children to go take piano lessons from a good friend of theirs. But that teacher is mean and controlling. But to keep that relationship good with that teacher, they will put that child in to take those lessons with them, whether that's good for the child or not. And so, again, it's not about the child, it's about them looking good as parents. I think another, if you've ever watched the show Absolutely Fabulous, which is kind of a BBC English comedy with Jennifer Saunders, and she plays Edwina Monsoon as the mother, and she's kind of the classic narcissistic mother. And she will comfort her daughter, who is now an adult anyway, but I'm sure that happened when she was a child, even in the TV series. She will just pat her on the head, trying to comfort her and going, "Oh, mommy's crying," and just doing that but not really crying. And she's always doing things to look right, to look good, to do it the way it's supposed to be done. But it's not the deep feeling of really feeling it. You might want to take a look at that show, Absolutely Fabulous. I rewatched those I don't know how many times because they are funny, and Jennifer Saunders is hilarious. Narcissistic parents can kind of fake being a good parent by having a selective display of affection. And they'll select when they do that affection. Not when it's called for, but when it's selectively good for them to do it. Just like in the Absolutely Fabulous situation, she's going, because people are watching and she's pretending to comfort her adult daughter. And pretending to be, oh, mommy understands, cry, 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 cry. And but she's not even crying. She'll even do that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But it is a caricature, if not a perfect picture, of some narcissistic parents. And they will have a selective show of and display of affection. It will be selective, only when it's needed for their benefit. Gifts are another way to be a fake parent. Maybe they just give gifts, maybe they only give money, because then at least they can fall back on, well, look what I paid for. Look what I gave you. When maybe it wasn't money you needed, and maybe it wasn't those special shoes or that special outfit. Maybe it wasn't that you really needed. Maybe what you needed was a hug, a loving, nurturing, caring parent, which they couldn't be. And so they will feel justified in, well, if you didn't get those, I did do all these things for you. And it's like, yeah, but that's not what I really needed. I think another way that narcissistic parents can fake being good parents is praising their children in public settings to make them look good. Oh, isn't my daughter just absolutely fabulous? She's got the lead in this play. I knew she had all this talent. And isn't she wonderful? And it's really not about the daughter, it's about her. It's about mom or dad. The dad who's, oh, my son, he's such a great football player, and I taught him everything he knows, and now he's out there getting touchdowns, and aren't I fabulous? And again, the focus doesn't go on the energy or the effort the kid is doing, it goes on what the parent believes they have brought to the table. And even if we have brought things to the table, which we all have as parents, we do bring things to the table to help our children. Maybe that narcissistic father did go out and try to show the son some things about playing football, but the motive is not just to be loving or caring. I don't have to take credit for showing him those things if he's just doing well. We worked, I gave him the knowledge I had, now he's doing the touchdowns and succeeding in football. That's what matters. Not, do you know what I did to help him? And I think that another way parents will fake being a good parent, as I've just mentioned, is like taking credit for your accomplishments. They will take the credit because you're their daughter, you're their son. Yeah, well, they better behave that way because you will be mean, abusive, and rageful if they're not. So, and then they take credit for you being an angel. And that's very destructive, and it is very dysfunctional. Because behind closed doors, these parents are inconsistent, neglectful, controlling, abusive, mean, and prioritize their needs always over the child's. Now, they may meet your needs sometimes, but often it has an ulterior motive, which ends up to come back to them if they do meet those needs. And again, I might buy you all of the best sports equipment, sports outfits, and all of that, and you look great, and I take credit for you being out there looking like that. Because I get to be the wonderful dad who's so supportive about this. To work on overcoming the damage from these types of neglectful or fake parenting, I would recommend the online program that I have that's mentioned down in the description, Your New Road to Self, which has training, exercises, tools, and you can include in that 12 months of coaching with me in live group sessions. And you will have access to all of those recordings, which I think can be huge in terms of helping you move forward. So, what can you begin to do for you? What is the impact that their faking had on you? How might it still show up in your relationships? Did you learn that faking in relationships is okay and even normal? Many times we turn out to be codependent or very enmeshed with not a very solid sense of self. We'll be people pleasers. And see, people pleasers end up being fakish. Overfunctioners end up being fakish. So when people go, oh, no, I learned to be genuine. My mother always faked in terms of her parenting. No, if we're codependent and if we are overfunctioning, we're then faking that because that's not the genuine us. We're doing that to lower our anxiety or to deal with guilt and shame or to increase our self-esteem. That's different than it being genuinely flowing out of us. So we want to look at how did that impact you? Other good questions to ask are, do you still become reactive when they do this? What do you do when your parents now act that fake way? I see you're getting a new house, son. I'm so glad I geared you in the direction of that college so you could go there and be successful and be able to buy this house. What? And I think there are ways to begin to detach from that rather than they're attaching tentacles to your successes because they will try to attack and that will be a part of their supply as well. And we can always thank our parents for whatever they did and then go, but these were my decisions in college, my decisions for career, and the money I make is from the work that I do. And I'm glad I can get this house. I think this is kind of a backhanded compliment. An adult parent tells an adult child I'm so proud of you. That always goes down badly. Now, I'm not saying someone can't say that genuinely and mean it in a loving, caring way, but many times it has that edge of infantilizing, making the child a child. Like, I'm so proud of you. Well, if I just became the chairman of the department, I didn't do it so you'd be proud of me. I did it with hard work, working myself and taking on those challenges and using my own abilities and skills to become chairman of that department. Why are we talking about I'm so proud of you? That I needed that when I was 6, not when I'm 60. I think it comes too late so often, and many times it can be kind of fakeish because they're wanting to kind of take their cut from the success. Because again, I'm so proud of you is a one-up move. Now, not for children. Children, they do need to be reassured, affirmed, validated, and I understand that. But, as adults, it ends up being kind of dismissive and kind of put downish. I can't think what the word is. Let me also ask here, are you able to reduce your own reactivity to them being fake while protecting yourself and your reality? Which is what I was just talking about with I'm so glad I got that university for you, picked that out for you, so you could be a success 20 years later. Can I keep my reactivity down and my anger and frustration and protect myself and my reality? Such as, well, if that was the only factor, Dad, then of course that would be amazing. But there were many factors that got me to this place, or got me to buy this house, or got me this promotion. And again, I'm talking about narcissistic parents. Parents do help us. Healthy parents help us. There's nothing wrong with being grateful for healthy parents helping us. It's that when the narcissistic parent is helping, there's another motive and another ulterior design to it. Can you be the good parent to yourself that they were never capable of being? And I really think that's another good question that we can begin to ask. And it's not so much of a how question. It's kind of a when question. When are you going to be the good parent to yourself and reparent yourself and giving to yourself, accepting yourself, loving yourself, being proud of yourself? Can you be proud of you? Even with faults, you still can be proud of you. Life is not easy for most of us. I want you to subscribe today, comment, like the video, please. And I hope this has been a help to you. Have a great day and be wise.